To get revenge on the school bully who had once tormented her, the woman became the homeroom teacher for the bully's daughter, making her live in fear every day. After successfully finding something to hold over her, the woman shifted her focus to the bully's husband. Upon learning that her chaebol husband was a Go enthusiast, Lisa had already begun laying the groundwork back in college. Every day in the park, she would secretly learn practical strategies from skilled elderly players. Then, by chance, Lisa met a young doctor, who was also a Go master. So in the days that followed, the two would often sit cross-legged in the park playing Go together. This routine continued for a full 7 years. During those 7 years, Lisa did only 3 things: gathering information on her bullies, tutoring students to earn the funds needed for her revenge, and, finally, playing Go with Jack, who would later become the executioner on Lisa's path to revenge. Once she had become a Go master, her plan officially began. She first started frequenting the Go club where Carl often went. Then she deliberately played against skilled players to catch his attention. Seeing such a young girl with such exceptional Go skills instantly piqued Carl's interest. At that moment, Lisa also noticed her target had arrived, but she didn't look up. She simply won that game and turned to leave. Back home, Carl reviewed today's game, trying to replay the game against Lisa in his mind. But when he reached the final move, he was surprised to discover that Lisa had clearly already won the game. So why did she continue to play against her opponent? This peculiar playing style successfully piqued his curiosity. From then on, whenever he thought of that game, that cool, composed face would appear. But Carl never could have imagined that the woman who haunted his dreams was watching his every move from next door. Nor did he know that an older woman had been following him every day. Looking at the photos the woman sent, Lisa realized the big fish had taken the bait. That day, Carl made a special trip to the Go Center, but couldn't find Lisa anywhere. Just as he sighed and was about to leave, Lisa suddenly brushed past him. This instantly made his heart flutter for no apparent reason. When he saw Lisa, her hair tied back, looking straight at him, he unconsciously swallowed hard, and Lisa didn't avert her gaze either. Later, the two began their game. Playing black, Lisa took the initiative and pressed her advantage move by move. Carl's defenses gradually crumbled, because his mind was nowhere near the board. By the time Lisa had won the game, Carl still hadn't snapped out of it. Seeing her pick up the money and start to leave, Carl quickly offered 5 times the amount to try to keep her there. Later, the two ran into each other again at a convenience store. Lisa didn't say a word. She simply handed Carl a sandwich. Seeing that he was hesitating to eat the sandwich, Lisa assumed that a tycoon like him would never touch such food. This time, Carl decided to let his guard down, and handed her his business card, suggesting they play Go together sometime. But Lisa didn't take it. Instead, she grabbed her sandwich and walked away nonchalantly. Carl, already deeply smitten, had no idea that someone nearby was secretly filming the scene. Later, Carl built a Go park in the city center, and came here every day to play. Unconsciously, that cool, strikingly beautiful face would pop into his mind. Meanwhile, Lisa, seeing that the time was right, printed out the photos from that night, and mailed them to the tycoon under the name of Mark, one of the bullying 5. The envelope contained no threats, only a business card in Mark's name. If he cared enough about Lisa, he would inevitably investigate the source of the photos. Sure enough, he dialed the number on the card, only to learn that the person had gone missing. He managed to track down the sender's boss, but the tycoon could never have imagined that this man was David, the man who had been having a secret affair with his wife, Anna, for 20 years. And David, too, had no idea where Mark had gone. Just a month ago, Lisa tracked down Mark, a member of the bullying gang. She knew Mark had long been oppressed by David, and harbored deep resentment toward the group, so she planned to turn him against them. After all, he held a lot of dirt on the bullies. His dream had always been to become a billionaire, and now Lisa was ready to give him that chance. Mark had no idea he was about to become her pawn. That day, she lured Mark to the rooftop, and brought up the story of Anna's murder all those years ago. It was from this very spot that the victim had been pushed off the roof. Lisa had been nearby that day, and had even found the victim's student ID at the scene. If Mark would trade the bully's secrets, he could use the evidence to blackmail Anna for a large sum of money and then run off with it. Mark then took out a strand of David's hair and handed it to Lisa. Lisa's goal was to perform a DNA match, to confirm whether he was the biological father of Anna's daughter. The next day, following Lisa's instructions, Mark went to the hospital. To his surprise, the victim's body from all those years ago was still there. Afterward, as agreed, he handed Lisa the information on the bullying group, including evidence that Ella had been snorting flour. Once everything was ready, Mark turned on the voice recorder on his phone as Lisa had instructed, preparing to extort a hefty sum from Anna. At first, he wanted to test the waters by bringing up her affair, but to his surprise, she dismissed it out of hand, and even noticed that Mark was recording her on his phone. Just as she was about to leave, Mark grabbed her by the neck and exposed her murder from all those years ago, adding that the victim's body was still being kept at the hospital. Just as he was getting carried away with his triumph, Anna grabbed a wine bottle and smashed it against Mark's head. Afterward, she contacted the police officer who had helped her back in high school. With the support of Anna's family, that officer had risen through the ranks and was now a deputy director general. But unexpectedly, he had been cautious and hidden the body in an abandoned funeral home. Since Anna and her daughter were constantly causing trouble, he feared he would eventually be dragged into it. If he ever needed money in the future, Mark's body could come in handy. A week later, Lisa couldn't get in touch with Mark. She suspected he might be dead. Unfortunately, after all that trouble, she hadn't managed to obtain any evidence of Anna's crimes. Now she desperately needed an ally. So she reached out to Jack, the doctor who had taught her to play chess. Lisa then explained exactly what she planned to do, sparing no detail. After hearing her story, Jack's first reaction was to tell her to stop, because Jack believed Lisa was a kind person and shouldn't do the things only villains would do. Lisa burst out laughing when she heard this. Then she immediately took off her coat and revealed the scars covering her entire body. After seeing this, Jack could no longer bear it. His eyes were filled with rage, and he volunteered to be Lisa's executioner. And so, Lisa's path of revenge would continue to unfold.